everyone, I'm Bernadette with the Pember Museum, and I'm at the Pember Nature Preserve. Today our program is Fungus Among Us. Did you know that there are 5.1 million species of fungi? I did not. What is fungus? That is any of a group of spore-producing organisms feeding on organic matter including molds, yeast, mushrooms, and toadstools. Today we are talking about my favorite, mushrooms. Do I eat mushrooms? No. I hate mushrooms. Ugh. Anyways, what is a mushroom? A mushroom or toadstool is the fleshy, spore-bearing, fruiting body of a fungus. Typically produced above ground, on soil, or in its food source, per Wikipedia. There are 10,000 known types of mushrooms. So, I'm going to talk a little bit about mushrooms, and then I'm going to present a slideshow because you don't want to sit here and listen to me read. That's boring. But let's first talk about mushrooms, mushroom guides. How's that sound? Okay. You can go to your local library. Mine is the Pember Library. And you can search for all sorts of mushroom books. But some of my favorites are the Ultimate Mushroom book. Check that out. This not only tells you about mushrooms, but how to cook them. Isn't that pretty awesome? Nope, I don't like mushrooms. What else do we have? A little learner's book of mushrooms. And because there are so many mushrooms here at the preserve, you're going to need a mushroom guide. Okay, so back when I started in 2008, I love taking photos of mushrooms. I thought that if you took mushroom photos, you can then go to a book and identify them. No, you cannot. Bring your book with you because, let's say, okay, so here's a photo, and I'm going to include some of my photos at the end of the slide presentation to show you what type of mushrooms that you can find here at the preserve. So here's one. Can you see it? Okay. Anyways, so basically that could be a tawny grisette. It is really hard to tell just by a photo because after I took these photos, I learned that you have to know the height. You have to know the shape of the mushroom caps. Can you see this? Oh, and this was done by Beth Moser-Ducat when she was out here teaching a couple summers ago. So these are so awesome. But anyway, so there's different shapes of mushroom caps. Streaked, ribbed, grooved, different shapes. You have your margins, which is the edge. Let me show you another one. And let's see, this is pretty darn awesome. So you have the cap, you have gills, and then you have the stalk. Okay, so when identifying mushrooms, you need to look at the gills, so you have to turn it over. That I did not know when I was taking my mini photos. So later on, when I started trying to identify these, all I have is a lot of possibles. You should also note where you find these mushrooms. Like this one I found under an eastern white pine. This one is probably more easy to identify because of the red coloring. Now, there are mushrooms that you can eat, mushrooms that are medicinal, and mushrooms that are poisonous. So if you don't know what mushroom it is that you're messing with, don't eat it. Don't eat it. And I don't like mushrooms anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay. After the slide presentation and the photos, we're going to do a little craft. We're going to make clay mushrooms. Aren't these awesome? Sounds good? Okay, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the other side of the slide presentation to show you how to make clay mushrooms. Thank you. Welcome back. Okay, we are ready to make our clay mushrooms. So, kids, don't use the knife. Have your parents help you. But you want to cut. I like using white air dry modeling clay. There's all sorts of air dry clay out there. There's terracotta color, but I kind of like the white because then it's easier to paint what colors you want. So what you want to do is first we're going to make this, the base, the stem of the mushroom. And there's all sorts of mushrooms shapes that you can make. Here's a photo. So, it's been a while since I made clay mushrooms. Well, let's see how that works. Okay, so I have a chunk. So what you want to do is work it. I'm going to make a little shorty. Fan keeps blowing. Sorry about that. But it's hot in here. Okay. Work it, work it, work it, work it. I found that if you don't have a base and you have too big of a cap, the darn thing ends up tipping over. So what I did with this one is I glued a little piece of cardboard onto the base to help it stand up better. This one was okay because it was a smaller cap. Okay. So you want to roll it into like a log, And I probably have too much, but that's when you can figure it out. Okay, so roll it into a log. I'm going to do a shorty. So I'm going to pinch my bottom. Like that. So that's looking really good. It's about right. There is no right way or wrong way of doing this. It's however you want your mushroom to look. There we go. So mine's got a wider base on it so it kind of, you know, stays put. I also found that sometimes they don't stick, and you'll end up, the cap will end up falling off, and you just have to add a little bit of glue. No big deal. So now I need to make a cap. See how easy that was? Another piece of clay, and I might need a little bit more than that. It all depends. Maybe not, we'll see. So we work with it, roll it, make it soft. And I might cut off the top of my stem so I have a little bit more of a squatty one. Then I can add it to the cap. So much you can do with this clay. I love it. And that way I don't need a kiln because it's air dry. It just takes a couple days to air dry, and then you can paint it and do what you will. But you got to make sure that you really package up your clay after you use it so it doesn't dry out, so it stays airtight. Okay. So now to make the cap. Okay, so I would suggest making a ball this time. And there we go. And then just squish it with your thumb. Because I have a fancy one and a semi-fancy one, I think I'm going to, oops. You can always smooth it out if you end up with fingerprints in the top. Uh-oh. Okay. I'm not artistic, guys. And the best part about this clay, if you don't like it, you just squish it up, roll it up, start all over again. Okay, I think I want more push. Okay, so I'm just working the clay, sticking my finger up in there so it sits on my stem. Kind of ugly. Sorry. Told you I'm just not real good at this. No. Okay. So you kind of get the idea on how to do this. Smooth it out. And ta-da! You have a mushroom. Kind of cool. Not too bad. I like it. It's mine. So, thank you for coming and watching. I hope to have program kits when we open. Please check out our website, thepember.org. We are also on Facebook, the Pember Museum of Natural History. And we hope to open soon. So, we'll see you and thank you.